This episode is sponsored by the Asmodee Studio Dotted Games. And welcome to episode 52 of the BoardGameGeek Podcast, where we geek out about board games, the mechanisms behind them, and the people who create them. I'm your host, Candice Harris, and I am super pumped to be here today with Scott Alden, aka Aldie, the creator and owner of BoardGameGeek, for the 2-year anniversary of the BoardGameGeek Podcast. And as per usual, our Spiel anticipation episode together. How's it going today, Aldie?
Going good, Candice. I can't believe it's been 2 years already. That's just mind-blowing to me.
Wild.
I keep saying that a lot. I can't believe it's been this many years. And it just, I think we're living a time warp as we get older. Like our perception of time becomes sort of increased or decreased. I don't know what the rate, the rate at which I'm like trying to remember things and anticipating how time flies just does.
Yeah, and it's like 2 years ago. Occasionally I look to see which games I covered in old episodes, and it seems like those early episodes were so long ago. But then at the same time, it feels like 2 years flew by.
Time is the perception of time is an interesting thing. Sometimes it feels forever ago. I remember when I first started BGG, I felt the years were going by so slowly.
Wow.
Because I was trying to grow the website and I was like, the year would go by and I'm like, okay, just maybe it's maybe eventually at the end of the year we'll do something, it felt a little glacial and now it feels accelerated, hyper accelerated almost. Just the fact that we just had Gen Con. I feel like Gen Con was just yesterday, even though I know it was months ago.
It does feel that way. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really does feel that way. So what's new with you?
What's new with me? I have been diving deep into my pinball hobby. I think people who know me know I have fallen in love with pinball. And the new X-Men pinball machine was just announced by Stern Pinball. Stern Pinball being the largest manufacturer in pinball in the United States. They're located in Chicago. And
cool.
So I've been getting in. I actually had a friend visit recently. He did not even think pinball was still a thing. I said, no, sir, you are wrong. Pinball is very much alive. And I showed him my pinball machines and he was like mind blown. He's just kind of like stunned.
Yeah,
and I sort of told him like pinball is more than just, pulling the plunger and flipping the flippers. There's a lot of deep mechanics in these things. Once you master, well, you can never, I don't know. I cannot master it. I'm not a good pinball player, but once you master the mechanics of keeping your ball alive, the game opens up.
Wow.
You start learning the rules and they're very complicated.
That's so crazy to think about, like the pinball has rules. Because usually I just go up and I'm put the coins in and slap.
Yeah, three balls, pull the plunger, keep the ball going. And you're like really, maybe if you're good enough, you can try to hit stuff. But once you really get that part, and I think I'm saying I'm still not that master. I've not mastered that part yet. I don't think that's easy to master. You can start investigating what the rules mean. And I feel like the accessibility of pinball is a little tricky because I don't know if you remember in a pinball machine on the lower left corner, there is a card. It's an index card. Oh. And it'll say, shoot the building. So I'm talking about Godzilla. Godzilla is my favorite pinball game, by the way. I highly recommend if you go to play a pinball machine, try to play Godzilla. Is wonderful. But it'll say something like, shoot the building to start Godzilla multi-ball, or shoot the spinner to activate Mecha Godzilla, or shoot, like a very, very basic type stuff. And that's part of the game.
Pinball player aid.
But it's super high level. The true pinball manual the rules manual for Godzilla is over 25 pages long.
Wow.
Like if you dig down deep into all of the actual like things you can do in the game. And I think that's what I love about pinball.
Yeah, that's wild. I know whenever I see pinball machines, and I feel like I definitely know because you and Lincoln are into it, and also because the pinball roll and write game that Jeff Engelstein designed.
He's also into pinball.
So I knew pinball was still happening, and there's a scene and everything, but I don't how do you figure out what your favorite pinball machine is?
You just got to play them. Yeah, you just got to play them. Sometimes you can like read about a game and like think you're going to like it, but until you actually flip the game, you can tell, like, sometimes you're like, oh, this just doesn't feel right. There's a feel to it. I have my favorites. I have my least favorite. I have like less favorites, things like that. So,
yeah,
but it definitely, you have to play them. You have to find, and it's tricky because you have to go find them usually. Like there's a pinball map. There's a website called pinballmap.com that tracks all pinball games in the world.
Wow.
And so if you search your address, you can find out pinball machines near you. But if you're actually looking into getting into pinball, try to join a league.
Okay.
Because they will just force you to play it every week, and then they'll pick all the different games they're going to play for that league, and then you play a variety of games. You don't just stick on one game.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because
I'm not in a league, by the way.
Okay. You're in a league of your own.
I'm in a league of my own.
Yeah, I think that I would always just gravitate, because I'm a rookie and don't have that much experience with it, but like I would gravitate towards whichever one has the coolest theme.
The lights and the sounds and the themes. That's definitely a big part of it. For sure.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not here to talk about pinball, are we?
We'll do the Pinball Geek podcast later.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, when is Pinball Geek coming out?
I've thought about it, believe me. It's crossed my mind. Anybody out there listening that's a pinball fan, let me know if you'd be interested in Pinball Geek. There is a Pinball Geek out there. So there is a website out there that is it's weird. It's launched the same year as BGG, back in 2000. And it's called pinside.com. And it is almost identical in features to BoardGameGeek. Not identical, but pretty darn close. And I'm very impressed with that website.
Wow.
I've looked at that website on how to do certain things and like, oh, we should do this and we should do that. You know, like they have definitely some killer features on that website.
Cool. That's awesome. Anything new on the BGG front? Like, I know we're going to have a booth.
We are having a booth at Essen this year.
And this is my first time being a part of the BGG team having a booth.
Correct. You've only gone
post-pandemic.
Just run and gun. Yeah. Post-pandemic.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have Geek Up bits available, like different bags, boxes, like some artist series prints, t-shirts, hats, some promos, some Meeple Source sets, and like a bunch of different generic gaming supplies, like blank bags and stands and clips and life dials. So there's lots of stuff. Come by and say hi to whoever's there. I might be there at some point during the day.
And the booth number is 5F111.
5F111.
It's kind of a fun number, right?
Yeah.
5F111.
Yeah. I like it.
We're also going to have Geek Buzz there. Remember Geek Buzz?
Yep.
Geek Buzz, where you're going to come by. I think you're going to be able to pick up a card at the booth. We're not sure of the mechanics of all this is working, but I think that's the way it'll work. And then we'll have laptops there and a screen showing what you're interested in. So you would come by, get a card, and then you can use it on your phone. You don't have to do it at the booth, but you can, you just scan the card and it'll go to it's like a website. It is our website. And then you would enter the code and then you can enter in what games you like. And it's just thumbs up. We're just looking for thumbs.
Yep. And then on the front page of BGG, you'll be showing, the
we'll
results.
Aggregate the top results and then see if it jives with what we are interested in too. But it probably will be. We're always usually probably similar to the people.
Cool. And then we got BGG Kaan coming up in
BGG Kaan
November.
Is right. Correct. If you have not got a ticket yet, you can still get a ticket. Cool. If I had the date exactly in front of me, it would have been good to have that ahead of time. I'm pretty sure it's November.
I don't remember either.
It is November 13th to the 17th.
Yeah, there we go.
And that's a 5-day convention, by the way. So it's Wednesday through Sunday. Yeah. Grant is coming back again this year. Grant Lyon, the comedian.
Cool.
He is with his board game comedy. It's quite lovely. Quite funny. Lovely.
Yes,
is that a way to describe a comedian? Lovely. It's fun. Christina and Shu are coming with their game show or puzzle hunt. It's not a puzzle hunt. It's a puzzle pub quiz. Pub quiz. That's probably the best way. The puzzle hunt is coming back again. So we did one last year and we're going to do one again this year. That's a big draw of the convention. I know people love that.
What is it?
Have you ever done a puzzle hunt?
No.
You really should try the puzzle hunt one time. You get in a giant room with a bunch of people and you have a team of 4. Okay. And then the way I think it's going to work this year is you get a packet of puzzles and you work together to solve those puzzles. Sometimes those puzzles interact with a hotel, meaning go to that room or go. I think it's gone away from that since it's so big now. We try to keep people from running around the hotel.
Like
so it might just all be in the room, but it is sometimes it is a scavenger hunt and sometimes there's all kinds of, it's hard to quantify exactly what it is, but it's basically a group of puzzles that lead you to a final puzzle answer. And you compete against all the other teams for time.
Ah, cool.
So if you finish it first, you win. And I think there's prizes. I don't remember exactly who's the sponsor this year, but it probably will be.
I'll look out for that.
It's 2+ hours. Yeah. But it's fun. You really, I mean, for me, it was fun when I did them. Haven't done them in a while because I didn't want to take myself out of the convention for that many hours. But there are a lot of people that do it. I'm sure there's more to the convention than that. We have, I was just looking at the virtual flea market that went live the other day.
Oh.
Over 2,000 items. Nice. And that's where you can arrange sales before the show. Also, there will be a flea market at the show. So a physical versus and a virtual.
Awesome.
Virtual flea market. Usually your deals are all done beforehand. And then physical you go into a room and it's only an hour long. It's very fast. And then you buy as many as you want.
Yep.
As many as you can carry or want to pay for. But there's a lot of people there. They fill that room up and it is hectic.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to BGG Con. It's always it's definitely one of my absolute favorite conventions. I love just the vibe of everybody being there, just playing games, and everybody's just happily playing games all over. It never feels overcrowded, but you get to see so many people. And this year, I'm finally going to get this game of War of the Ring in with Bonacor. We've been talking about it for promising. 2 years, and we just never can sync up. So it's on the calendar, and it's going to happen. So everybody send in your votes of who you think's going to win. Who's going to win?
Which side are you playing?
I don't know yet. We haven't decided. He has played it way more than me. So
yeah, that's the thing. I think probably having experience would help. But there's good amount of luck in that game too, so you never know.
I'll take them.
You roll the dice. It's a dice rolling game, right?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
Do you like Lord of the Rings? Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
The lore?
Yes. Yeah.
The fiction? Yeah.
I wasn't always, but I love it.
The War of the Ring board game has got everything. I should say everything because I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure it has almost everything. Every aspect of the book is in that. It's not the movies, it's the books.
And that actually just reminded me, do you know if the Seven Wonders Duel Lord of the Rings version is coming out at Essen?
Better be, because it might be on my list.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, it might not be on mine, but it definitely should be if it is, because I don't know. This one might have slipped through the cracks. Anyways.
It's on the list. I should say it's on the preview list. Will it make my list? Well, I've already spoiled that it will. So there you go. There's this teaser.
Awesome. And then we have Jeff and Christina are on a cruise right now.
They're currently on the BGG at Sea cruise. So if you ever want to go on a cruise, please get signed up for one of those. I don't have the details of anything right now because I didn't think about that. I'm terribly unprepared.
I know the details.
You do.
For
You've
that
got one of them.
Yeah. Because I was asking Jeff about it at BGG Spring, and he was like, "Actually, next year there's one leaving out of LA." So I'm like, "This is the one." So I'm planning to be on that ship. That one is going to Western Mexico, and it's October 3rd to the 10th next year, because Essen is going to be later next year than it has been the past.
Right. And we actually had to move that cruise.
Yeah.
Westmex.
Westmex. Yeah.
Yep. That's looks like it goes down to Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, which I've not heard of before. Mazatlan,
I think.
Mazatlan.
Yeah.
And Puerto Vallarta, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I remember watching Prices Right and stuff an all expense paid trip to Puerto Vallarta. I don't know if you're a game show watcher back in the.
My mom is a big game. My mom's a big game show watcher, so
Puerto Vallarta was always a good destination.
Cool
Vacations. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm stoked to finally. I've heard nothing but great things about BGG at Sea cruises, so I'm stoked to finally. And I've never been on a cruise actually ever.
Oh yeah. You got to do it.
It'll be my first one. So if anybody wants to play games on a ship with me,
yeah,
come to this one next
it's fun
year.
Times. We do pack up part of the library. It's not the entire library, but part. It's more games than you can possibly play in a week. Everybody thinks they're going to play all the games.
Right.
It doesn't usually work out that way. My eyes are bigger than my stomach for board gaming on cruises for sure. I'm like, if I can play 1 or 2 a day, I'm lucky. But
yeah. Yeah. Well, since it's the second anniversary of the Board Game Geek podcast, I want to just say thank you to everyone out there who listens and who continues to like support us. And it's just really cool. I really appreciate it. So many people come up to me at different conventions that I'm at and say, "Oh, I really like the podcast," or "I like your videos," and it warms my heart so much, and it's like greatly appreciated. So just thanks everybody out there who's listening, and because there's so much content out there, board game or otherwise, that people can be consuming, and it's just like it's awesome that people are listening.
We definitely appreciate it. There's lots of choices of content, and we appreciate that you have chosen the Board Game Geek podcast. And I'm glad you've been running it, Candice. I mean,
thanks.
I think I told you back in the day that I, obviously being a fan of podcasting, since it was one of the first 5 podcasts ever, that I wanted to eventually have a podcast again. But yeah, humble brag there.
That is awesome. Well,
but I'm glad it's back up, and it's always fun listening to you every week, and your way that you talk about games and explain games is just unlike most people I've ever heard. So thank you.
Thank you, Aldie. Well, continuing our annual tradition, today we're going to discuss the SPIEL Essen 2024 releases that we are most excited about. And I think before that, I wanted to just do a quick recap on our lists from last year.
Oh, goodness. See if we played?
Yeah, to see if you got if we played any of the ones on our list. And so your number 5 last year was Perspectives. Did you end up playing that?
I did. I played it at BGG Con, and I played all of it.
Cool.
It's a several missions game, and I played all of the missions. I think it was 3 missions.
Awesome.
And each mission takes about 2 hours, so I played it all at BGG Con.
That's cool.
I loved it.
My number 5 was Wizard's Cup. I haven't played it in a while, but I really love it. It's just like a small, quick 2-player game. It's an auto battler kind of game where you're gonna
Wizard's Cup.
Yeah. You're 2 dueling wizards playing cards, and you're building basically you're randomly picking one card for your deck that both of you know about, and then you get to craft the rest of your deck around that one card, and then you stack them. I think it's 6 cards, and you auto battle.
Oh, neat. So a little bit like
Challengers or something.
Challengers, yeah. That's cool. Was that after Challenger? I guess it came out after Challengers.
This just came out last year at Essen last year.
Okay. And it's Seiji Kanai. Of course, it's amazing. Yes.
Who's the designer? A Love Letter?
Seiji Kanai.
Is it the Love Letter design?
Love Letter.
Yeah. So I still really love it. I haven't played it in a while, but I played it a lot after I got it. You had the Cathedral of Orleans on your list.
I did play that. I played it a few times actually. It's okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, it's a family weight game, and I don't think we ever beat it, honestly.
Gotcha.
But we may have been playing it wrong. But I think it's a challenging co-op, and I wanted a little bit more out of it. I don't know. It was good though. I was happy to play it. It's fun.
Okay, and then I had 1902 Méliès and the Battle of Versailles were both on my number 4 slot, and I've only played 1902 once, and I enjoyed it, but it was with 3 players, and I was like, I think this is going to be better with 4. And I still love, I can't think of the name of the company right now that makes those small box games.
They're you can get them in the BGG store.
Yeah.
Which so I'm drawing a blank on the game. Let me get the name just so we don't leave it behind. It is Looping Games.
Looping Games. Yeah. Yes, Looping Games. That's the one about the movie making.
Yeah. How was that?
It was cool, but I think it would be better with 4 players.
Okay, we played 2.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten back to it, but I just like how small those boxes are, and for how much game they have in them. Yeah. So and then Battle of Versailles. Oh my gosh, I was so excited about this, and
that was the fashion one, right?
Yeah, it's on my shelf. I was about to play it last year at SD HisCon, but we were trying to like figure it out too late at night, and I just never got it back to the table. So I'm going to fix that this year, so I can't really comment too much on that one. Did you?
Well, it's on the list to play. I didn't play either one of those. I've not played any looping game I need to.
Did you play the Fox Experiment, which was your number 3 last year? I did
not play the Fox Experiment. How have I not played the Fox Experiment?
See,
it is in my garage, though. Every time I look at it, I'm like, yes, I need to play that. And I keep not pulling it out. I need to get it. That's the problem. Like the new stuff comes in and overshadows the old stuff. I mean, believe me, I want to play Fox Experiment.
Yeah. I haven't played it either.
Have you played it?
Okay. No.
We owe Elizabeth Hargrave a play.
Absolutely. That's I'm kind of like I'm just bringing up our old games just to see, because it's like, what do we actually get to play when there's so many games to keep up with? My number 3 was Nucleum, which I have sitting on my shelf with the expansion. I've still only played it once.
Okay, you have played it.
Yeah, I have played it, and I liked it a lot. I just haven't played it in a while. It's on my list to revisit that one. But it's really, really solid. And then you had number 2, Comet, which I'm pretty sure you did play.
I played Comet a few times. I think it's really fantastic, and it's underrated. It's just one of those games that's really cool. Peter Prince. Yeah. Good game.
Cool.
Lots of powers and fun, like kind of like moving race up the board game. It's really, and we did a game night on it if you want to go check it out. Game night.
Cool.
Hashtag game night.
My number 2 was Kutnahora, the City of Silver, which I loved and still love. And I remember my number 1 now. I have
I don't think I played. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. But yeah, I loved Kutnahora. I played that a lot, and it's on my shelf. I really, really dig it. Your number 1 was Evenfall.
No, I have played that. I mistake. I thought my number 1 was a different game.
Okay,
I have played Evenfall. Evenfall is good. Yeah, it's a really cool. It's meaty worker placement. Lots of text on the cards, and you got to learn all your combos and making sure everything works.
Building,
and it's just engine building. Yeah, it's quite good. I wish the theme was a little more there, but it's a good strategy game.
Yeah, you put this one on my radar, and last
year you didn't even know about it. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I knew about it until we recorded last year, and then it ended up being like one of the games I was most excited about after recording with you. And I have played it a couple times, and every time I play it, I really enjoy it. So like I love card games too, and it's got like just enough worker placement, and the way you're building the tableau, and you have the inner circle versus the outer circle, and the timing of pulling cards down. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So,
yep, solid.
Now, my number 1, on the other hand, Evacuation. I was very excited about Evacuation. I only ended up playing it once. I played it once. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't crazy about it.
You didn't go crazy.
Yeah, I had a couple friends who really liked it, but I guess I'm just getting like a little pickier.
Okay.
And yeah, it didn't excite me to play it more.
Okay.
But that's not to say I won't play it again.
You're allowed to have an opinion about it. Yeah. You don't have to love something.
Okay, well that was last year.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to be curious to hear what you have for 2024.
So here's the thing. I was talking about this earlier. There's so many games this year. I mean, I think I just did the stats. There are 959 as of this podcast date.
Wow. And we are recording on September 17th.
Yeah. 959. Last year was 1,027.
It's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going
so it's pretty on par with last year. Pretty close.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't have we have this many games again. Just crazy. Anyway.
So another thing, like you put Evenfall on my radar.
Yes.
But another thing I just realized on the very first episode we recorded together in 2022, you were... Oh, it wasn't on your list, but it was what you had been playing recently, I think, and you were playing Oathsworn. And it's just funny because just as of like a month or two ago, I've been like, I gotta play Oathsworn. Like excited to play that game. And I'm like, oh yeah, you mentioned that like 2 years ago.
Well, I've noticed you've started getting into the adventure game genre.
Yeah.
Oh, we call it adventure games? Dungeon games? I don't know. What would you call it?
Yeah, we'll call it adventure. But yeah, there's like boss battlers within there, dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, let's say on the more thematic side.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited to follow your journey.
Cool.
Because I know that is my favorite genre of game, by the way. The dungeon crawler adventure game for sure.
Cool. Well, I don't know. I guess I've always liked those kind of games, but there's just something that recently has been like really exciting to me about them.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we start talking about our SPIEL Essen 2024 releases we're most excited for, I'd love to hear what you've been playing lately, Aldie. So let's jump into fresh plays.
All right, so this one it flew under my radar. I actually bought it a year and a half ago, maybe more. I don't know when it came out. It was a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And I got the Kickstarter. I think it might have come out around BGG Con, and I think I put it directly into the library. I didn't say, I'm not going to be able to get to this game. I'm not going to be able to play it.
Okay.
However, I then researched it again. I'm like, I should go pull this out of the library and play it. And I went and actually, I didn't get it out of the library. I went and bought another copy. I was like, yeah, that's not in the price range. I'll just buy another copy.
Okay.
So this is a Awakened Realms Lite game. Do you know what Awakened Realms Lite is? I did not heard of this brand. It is go ahead.
Are you going to say, I know I've heard of their Lite brand because I have one game. Do they only have one game in this line?
I don't know. Do they have more than one?
I'm in suspense now. You have to just tell me what it is.
So it's a genre that I've been seeking out for like my entire life. I remember back in the 90s looking for games of this genre, and they didn't really, there wasn't that many. Now there was a card game that was in the genre, but it's only a 2-player card game. Do you know what I'm talking about yet?
Yep, Netrunner, and you're talking about Tamashi.
I am talking about Tamashi in the cyberpunk genre.
Awesome. I have that.
Have you played it?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh my goodness.
It's on my list.
It's wonderful. And I was stunned how wonderful it was. I was like, this can't be that good, is it? Okay. Then it keeps getting better. It's a cyberpunk game set in a dystopian future apocalypse, somewhat post-apocalyptic. There is a evil enemy AI called Ascent, and you are basically, I don't know the full story, and I'm not going to really spoil it, but basically you kind of come to a consciousness in a body that is not yours. So I have my theories of what it is, but I'm not going to say. So you are controlling a body. You have a sleeve, I guess you would call it in the cyberpunk terms. And the game just has all of the cyberpunk stuff I love about cyberpunk.
Hacking.
Yes.
Or programming.
And the way they do the programming and hacking and like fighting and just oh my God, it's so good. So the gist of the game at its core is a match 3 slide puzzle. You know what I mean by saying that? Although it's not exactly match 3.
Yeah.
It's basically making patterns in a slide puzzle format. And you basically draw chips out of a bag, scored a little bit of Quedlinburg type bag pull. Then
also,
you put
Bullet. Have you played Bullet?
Bullet is like that too? I have not played Bullet.
Yeah. Okay.
So you draw your chips out of your bag, your data cores, I think they're called. And then you slide the puzzle. Like you have a programming value. Like if you're a hack, like I always lean towards the hacker, and the hacker can program more. So that's the number of moves you can make on the puzzle.
That's so cool.
But your base moves is 4. And I go for the hacker. Like this, you can get these other bodies. You can inhabit other bodies, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And then it changes your role and your abilities. And then you're like, oh, I can now hack better and I can do more things. And then which gives you more moves. So you can get your slide puzzle more correct. And then you can activate programs and you launch programs out of your deck. It's so good.
Yeah.
If you like cyberpunk at all, if you're a cyberpunk fan, it's a pretty awesome game. Like I can't say it's the best because I don't know if I played all of them, but I think it's one of the best.
Are you playing it solo or?
No, I've got a group.
How many?
And we're all infatuated with it. We're like, yeah, we played through it and we're playing more missions. And
how many players?
4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does take a little while. And it's got a story, like it's got missions. So you unlock content it's not the typical Awakened Realms game with like 1 million boxes of content. It's got
Awakened Realms Light.
Yeah, it's Awakened Realms Light, and it's manageable.
It's not
and
light,
you start from zero.
Yeah.
You start from nothing, and then you build your character, and then you go to if you do another mission, you're starting from zero again. So it's 0 to hero type gameplay, which I really like. I feel like the long campaign stuff is a little hard to keep.
Totally.
I love them too, but they are definitely hard to keep going. But this is nice because they'll start to end in a couple hours. Although it's taking a little bit longer than that, because we're sort of like, there's one of the players was just added to the group, did not play the first mission that we went through.
Gotcha.
So he got onto the second mission, and so he's sort of learning it.
Cool.
But my God, is it good? I was like, what? Why did I wait so long? My God. And the art is fantastic, and it's just...
And the boxes too.
The box is awesome, and the graphics are good, and gives you really the feeling, and all of it. It's got all the cyberpunk stuff.
So I discovered this game basically because someone was selling their copy on a virtual flea market at our local Strategicon. And for some reason, I'm always like, I'm very good at like sifting out games that I think nobody else is going to buy. But then I'm like, ooh, that's like a gem. And so I bought it and I watched so many videos on it. And I love the idea that it's like this mix of Altered Carbon and The Matrix, kind of the way you're jumping in and out of bodies. I didn't watch Altered Carbon, but Matt has watched it. He watches all the sci-fi stuff. So it's something that I have been really wanting to play. Like, I have it right up here in my little space sci-fi area. Yep. And you're giving me incentive to like break it out soon.
And the mechanic of the game is pretty simple. You move and activate a hex, a tile, and those are pretty simple. You're also getting traced, like tracing is a mechanic of the game. But the play of the what do you call it? The puzzle play is just very fun. And you want to like, there's definitely some thinking to it, right? You want to get your pieces in the right places, execute the programs. There's so many cool programs to execute. I've not even seen them all.
That's awesome.
You're fighting enemies where you actually, there's a little bit of dice rolling with the combat, but you really want to, the more damage you do is with programs. Like that's your primary damage dealing. And then you can also boot them. I think it's called repelling. Like you're like, it's a bot, so you can just kick it. I think that's the way, and I see it in my mind because there are all these like bots falling around, and you just kick them and run away. But you take a corrupted memory core, and you have only so many corrupted memory cores before you would automatically lose. So you have to like manage your corrupted memory cores. But sometimes you don't want to fight. Like it's deadly. The game can be deadly. Like one of the guys just died in like instantaneously. Like you just got that body, and when you get you have like a die roll chance of potentially losing the body, which takes you some time to build up, right? You have to actually get the pattern correctly to get the body. So anyway, it's really cool. Anyway, I'll stop. I'm gushing about it, but it is really.
No, I love it.
I'm strong.
Like,
I'm strongly swayed by the gameplay. It's very
That's so cool. Yeah, because this is something I guess I got this in February, and I've been wanting to get into it.
Yeah, if you can get it to the table, and it doesn't. It starts pretty slow. You don't get overwhelmed with it all at once, but it definitely has a lot of stuff in it.
And it's cooperative, light, for sure. Right?
It is cooperative. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super cool. Yeah. The part the hacking part with the puzzle of programming and everything, that also reminded me of Bullet Heart, because Bullet Heart, you're pulling tokens out of the bag and deciding or putting them in different columns.
I think I remember that. That's level 99, right?
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that game. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And like the cyberpunk theme seems really cool. The art seems really great.
It's got it all going on.
Cool. So that is Tamashi.
It's actually got a subtitle.
Of Ascend. Yeah. Chronicle of Ascend.
We should say the names of the developers. I think I looked them up just to see if I could say them properly.
Go ahead.
It's Kamil, in quotes, Sanex Cisla, which this is Polish names, by the way. Pronunciation could be wrong. Robert Plesowicz and Lucas Waldarzik. 3D designers.
Did they, do you know if they designed any of the other Awakened Realms games?
I don't know. Yes, they have. Kamil, he's in quotes, so he goes by Sanex, Sanex. By the way, Sanex is they're Google Sanex. I don't know what to spoil it, but it's basically, I'm like, what is Sanex? It's a product. The Great Wall and Dragon Eclipse. Yeah. That's the top ones. Let me see if the other ones.
I've played the Great Wall once.
Robert Plezowitz. Wait, Great Wall. I'm not playing Great Wall. And then the other designer. There's 3 designers. Lucas. Also the Great Wall. And Flick of Faith. Flick of Faith I heard is really good.
Never heard of that.
That's a flicking game with powers.
Yeah,
it's got, and a game called Platformer.
Never heard of that one either.
Yeah, so they're Great Wall. Great Wall
partners. Yeah.
And was Great Wall? No, Great Wall is Awakened Realms, not Awakened Realms Light.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Tamashi might be the first Awakened Realms Light game.
Let me see. I've got this really cool app called BGG. Helps me find stuff. Oh, Flick of Faith is on the list.
Light for the Awakened.
A game called Bees: The Secret Kingdom, and a game called Knockdown. So they've done a few. Siege Storm and Platformer. Those are the top ones.
I'm waiting for my Nemesis Retaliation pledge.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. Well, lately, I have gotten the opportunity. On the last episode, I gushed about Unsettled, and I got a chance to play another mission, scenario of that with the same first planet, and it was like so cool, and it felt so different, even though it was the same planet. I'm really. Have you played Unsettled?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah. I'm really, really digging that. I don't know how many planets you've played, but I want to play more.
Only 2, not too much.
Okay. And then I also got a chance to revisit Pagan Fate of Roanoke. Now I ended up buying the deluxe upgrades and the playmat for it, and so
does that add a lot?
Yeah, I don't know if you need the playmat per se, but the upgraded bits are nicer because, like, in the base game, you just get like little circular chits for the quote unquote pawns, but like in the with the upgrades, you get like these nice like painted little wooden meeples that are really nice actually. And you get the other, like the clues and the evidence and the secrets and their favors are also like nice little wooden tokens. But it was cool because the second time I played it as the hunter, and
right, it's asymmetric, right? 2-player.
Yeah, and one of
witches versus hunters.
Witch versus a witch hunter. It's it's asymmetrical gameplay, but it's also it's a deduction game. So there are like these 9 villagers that are out, and there's a suspect deck that has those same 9 villagers. So at the beginning of the game, the witch is going to randomly draw one of those cards, and that is basically the witch's true identity. And so the witch hunter is trying to figure out which of these 9 villagers is the witch before the witch is able to perform a ritual. So it's really cool. The more I play it, well, I've only played it twice, but like the more I play it, the more I'm like, okay, as I'm seeing the cards and the potential and everything. And
the art is awesome.
The art is awesome, and it's like really cool because as the hunter, and I didn't think I would want to be the witch hunter because I was like, oh, this is going to be too hard or something. But I actually enjoyed it because you can build your tableau with allies that give you special abilities, but also you have locations which give you unique worker or action spaces. The challenge, though, is if you're not visiting villagers and putting your pawns on villagers, the witch is just going to be able to like, spread all their secrets. So you have to
what's the like the depth or the weight level of this game? Is it pretty complicated or
no?
It's got 3 out of 5 on BGG, which is on the higher side.
Yeah, I would like.
Not that weight ratings are always
It is like medium at most. Yeah.
Okay.
It has like it's probably maybe more complex because it's asymmetrical, but like the cards are like, once you understand the card types, which they all have icons and everything, it's not
okay.
It's really
since
really
it's
good,
2-player, I would have to play with Michelle.
Yeah, would she like that?
I don't know. The weight level might be too hard. I don't want to push her. We played what is it? Watergate.
Oh.
Have you played Watergate?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's it on the level? Is it
It's different. This is more like almost like an LCG kind of thing.
Okay, so that might be
you have a
there's
deck
quite a lot
of
is
cards.
there quite a lot of card text and rules like that?
Not like it's all really straightforward, but you each have your own deck of 50 cards.
Okay,
but
50.
they're not overly complex. Like they're very straightforward if you know like the iconography of like, oh, this is an investigation card. It gets played here. The effects are pretty straightforward. Okay. But anyway, if you haven't played it by BGG Kaan,
put it on the list for me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like it's that long.
No. It's like 45 minutes, an hour, maybe.
Got it. By the way, this is quite highly ranked on BGG. I was just checking the numbers. 693 is actually quite high.
Oh yeah, and it just came out in the US, like because Capstone
just came out in the US. Capstone brought it over.
And Gen Con was the first time it was available, but it's been out since 2022, and I've heard about it back then, and I just wasn't able to get an English copy of it. So so I'm stoked to have it now. Cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, those were meant to be like very brief, just like
those the brief ones.
Those were the brief ones that I was just revisiting. So the first game that's a fresh play, which I'll also be brief with, is Joyride Turbo, which is Turbo. I don't know if you've heard of Joyride Survival of the Fastest.
No.
But Joyride Turbo is the Kickstarter like big box version of it, and my friend Jordan had it, and we played a 4-player game of it. It's a 2024 release from Rebellion Unplugged, and it's designed by Duncan Malloy and Pete Ward. It plays with 2 to 4 players, and this is a racing game that sort of, I guess, has a little bit of the main board has a like kind of post-apocalyptic look to it, like a junkyard, but it's a racing game that is like has Mario Kart vibes, because the track is not like a standard track in like games like Heat or I don't know, just other like racing games like that. Instead, they're hexes. And so when you're moving, you can potentially like you can run into other cars, and then like sometimes you will make them rotate to face a different side of the hex. As you cross through, like it'll have 3 checkpoints. I guess it depends on what scenario you're kind of playing, but it has different checkpoints that you have to kind of drive through. And when you do, you get special abilities. So like you can get oil, and then you can like, when you want to, drop the oil behind you. And if any car goes on it, you know, something's going to happen. You can get nitro and boost yourself. But it's pretty cool because you have this dashboard for your car, and you have your car. And I don't know what the like the base game, the retail version looks like. The cars might be just like cardboard.
Got it.
I don't remember, but the ones in this Kickstarter version were like these nice chunky wooden cars, and you have this dashboard that looks like your car, and everybody's is different. Like they have like lots of different drivers, and you have a pawn that's showing like which gear you're in. And then you have dice too. So depending on which gear you're in, you're able to lock a number of dice, which is going to like dictate like your first move forward. And then if you change your speed, you like if you decrease, you lose a die. If you increase, you add a die. But you're trying not to like run into walls. And I mean, sometimes you're going to want to run into other people. And then you have some like special abilities. And when you take damage, you're covering up spaces on your board that you would need for other things. And I don't think in the scenario we played, there was any way to repair. Okay. But it's just, it's
so destruction derby type thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like silly and fun, but it's a cool like Mario Kart style game.
Does the deluxe one come with like models of cars, or are they flat pieces of wood?
Because
that's what I see on BG. That's what I'm seeing on the.
They're like flat, like chunky wooden cars.
Wooden type things.
Okay. Exactly. And I think there might be stickers on them. Or something.
No, they look nice.
But
I've not heard of this game. It looks fun.
Yeah, I saw this at PAX Unplugged in 2022. I played a demo game of it, and I was like, oh, this is super fun. So it's like, again, one of these games it's actually finally out. So anyway, that is Joyride Turbo, but like the base game is called Joyride Survival of the Fastest. There's also like a 2-player version, like Joyride. Yeah, there's a bunch of Joyride. Exactly.
There's a lot of Joyride.
Exactly. So what else have you been playing lately?
So I'm sticking with the adventure genre.
Love it.
This one is Fateforge. Have you heard of Fateforge?
Yes. I just interviewed Gordon Kalea like a week or two ago for Cardboard Creations episode.
I do remember
that. Going to drop in early October.
Fateforge is quite good. Very impressive. It is what I would call deterministic combat. It's a dice game. You roll dice and then you activate powers and move around the board and stuff. I mean, there's a plot and there's a story and there's an app actually. And I do have a comment about the app, which I wish I could talk to him about it, but I need to file. I mean, here's the thing. Tons of work to do on these things. So I don't want to be like the annoying person complaining, but it's a good game. And it's a 0 to hero game. Although it is a campaign, you start with nothing and then you start leveling up and getting lots of powers and stuff. And it's typical like fighter, healer, ranged person, that kind of stuff, wizard. Mm-hmm. But the dice determine what you do on a turn. And there's tons of cards that you can get that give you abilities to use skill recipes. Cards, yeah, skill cards that you use the dice in clever ways to activate those recipes and basically destroy your enemies. And it's quite good. It's like, it's a determined, like I said, you don't roll for damage or anything, but like if I do an attack and that person only has 1 health, that defeats it.
Kill it. Yeah.
You kill it. And then you sort of have to work together to make the bigger monsters die because you can't just do all the damage yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like because they immediately heal. They have to all be done at that turn. It was really good. It was more like a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Like a puzzle combat, a puzzle dungeon game with some fun. It's got a lot. I mean, it's quite a lot of game. And there's 2, what I would call like campaigns in the box. Like you can get the campaign in the box is quite big. And then there's another campaign, which is another whole like big thing. And it's got an app and it's narrated.
It's got like a soundtrack too with the app.
Soundtrack.
Right? Yeah.
And the app is just a little clunky. You cannot play the game without the app. So you don't know what the combat mission is going to be until you have it in the app. But the app does add cool things because it controls the monsters when they attack you. And it's got a mystery attack. Like something's not predetermined will happen. Right. And the app controls it.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an app, you can't really play the game. At least I don't think there is a way to play it. So it's not like a complaint, but it is a consideration. And then another problem not a problem, but an issue we had is we were trying to add a player. And we wanted to go through a campaign and not play the prologue, and we wanted to skip through it all or whatever. We wanted to get to where we were, but we had to push the button like 92 times to get it through. And it's basically doing a choose your own adventure type things too, right? So we couldn't jump to a chapter, and I was like,
to add somebody in.
And I don't know what the technological hurdles of that would be. I'm sure it's not easy. Otherwise they would have done it.
So I tried this game at Essen, I think in 2022, they were demoing it, and I actually demoed it with Matt, and he really liked it too.
Yeah.
So I've only played since I've gotten a copy of the game from Mighty Boards, but I've only played the first scenario solo when my mom was in town. But then I was like, I want to stop because I want to play it with Matt because he would really enjoy it. So like this one is on my list to play.
To play more.
But I think the things that are kind of different about it, besides the fact that, it's the combat it's more puzzly and deterministic, but he made it. And I mean, the Cardboard Creations episode will be up in a couple weeks, but he made this game, or they made this game to give you that kind of like dungeon crawl experience where you can play just an hour and a half,
Yeah, no, it can play fast. You can play like a mission in an hour.
Yeah.
That's really great about it. I like that a lot. And we were playing more, we went through like 5 missions in one day.
Yeah,
It was that much fun.
And that's what he was saying. He was like, if people are going to play it for 3 hours, like I want them to feel like there was a progression to it, Yeah. But the other thing is that I'll mention too, because I know you mentioned the action dice, but when you're playing multiplayer, everybody is rolling their dice behind their screens. Yeah. And then you're kind of like not talking to your teammates about what dice exactly you have, but you're trying to plan like who does it make sense to go first. And it's the app itself. Like obviously I've only played one scenario of it, so I don't know like all that much, but I know that it's basically, yes, it's a game. I said it's basically, yes. It's a game where you definitely need the app. Like the app is driving some of the experience, and it's tying what you do in combat to what you do in the story.
Yes.
And it remembers stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but we did a funny thing. That just cracked us up because of what we did, the way we did it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to. I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay, but that's still cool that you did a funny thing.
But it does, and it gives you cards to remind you of what you did during the story, which is fun.
Yeah.
We're like, do you remember that time we did that thing with that? I'm not going to say what it was, but it will remind you.
Also, one other thing I'll shout out that I really like about the production is that they put the enemy tokens in the box. There are these like chunky wooden discs.
Yeah.
And I forget if they're stickered or painted, but you don't have to. Yeah, but you don't have to. They come stickered. Yeah, and they're in this box where the lid of the box tells you where every type of enemy is. And I was like, that's so helpful.
Yeah, it's helpful. I wish there was a little more variety to the look of those, because when they're all on the side, you can't tell what they are when they're stacked side to side. Like
that's true.
So it was like searching, but it's a good game.
Yep.
If you like the dungeon game, adventure games,
story,
I recommend it. It's on my recommendation.
Totally, and I'm very excited to like dig into that one more. But like I said, I wanted to wait for Matt for that.
Please do, and let me know what you.
Okay.
I want you to know. I want to know what your decision was at the very beginning of the first campaign.
Okay.
I mean, because it's kind of it's not heart-wrenching, but it's a wrenching decision.
Okay. All right. I'll keep you posted. Yeah. So that is Fateforge Chronicles of Kaan, right?
And the designer is Gordon Kalea.
And it's Mighty Boards.
Mighty Boards. Yep. Mighty Boards.
Cool. So my second fresh play is a card game that I played at Gen Con, and I say this in a loving way, but I was kind of ambush pitched.
Okay.
Like I was Derek and I.
Say no.
Derek and I were like about to go into a meeting at Gen Con, and the lovely folks from Captain Games not only helped us,
Captain.
Helped us work on
friends of the show.
They helped us. One of the guys knew how to use that DJI camera really well, so he was giving us a bunch of tips, which was super cool. But they were like, "Hey, do you have a minute?" And I was like, "Well, after this, I'm going to be running back, But I was like, "Yeah." So Derek and I went in and we played a quick couple rounds of their new game called Duck and Cover, and
that was literally 1 minute, I bet.
Yeah.
It only takes a minute to play that game.
Pretty much.
Which is good.
And then they sent me home with one of their pre-production copies of it.
Oh, okay.
And this is designed by Osama Khalifati. And it plays with 2 to 7 players. And
2 to 7, yeah.
Yeah, 2 to 7 players. And let me tell you, since that, not counting that first like demo game, I played this game 9 times since Gen Con. It is just,
I can see that.
It's so like it's a crowd pleaser. So the idea is everybody has their own like deck of rubber ducky cards, and there are different themes of rubber duckies. All the cards are numbered 1 through 12 in each deck, but you might have like pirate themed rubber duckies or fantasy themed or monsters, or there's one that's like desserts where they're like cupcakes and stuff. But you have all these cute rubber duckies. So everybody takes their own deck of rubber duckies. And then you shuffle them, and then you put them into a grid. I think is it 4 by
4 by 4 or 3 by 4 by 4?
I think it's 4 by 4.
3 by 3.
Yeah. Oh,
4 by 4.
4 by 3.
4 by 3.
Or three rows, 4 cards each. There we go. 3 rows, 4 cards each. So everybody does this, and then there's a deck of cards that someone is going to like reveal one at a time, and it's
like a bingo,
like bingo style.
Mechanic. Yeah.
Exactly. And in that deck, the bingo deck, we'll call it, there are 2 copies of each number, 1 through 12. And then there are 2 special cards. There's one special card that says repeat the previous number. And then there's another one that says do something with your highest numbered card. And what you're doing when a number flips over, so let's say 4, we reveal 4. Everybody has to, if they have a 4 on their board, they have to either duck or cover. And when you duck it, you move it somewhere else adjacent to another card, orthogonally adjacent.
That saying duck and cover makes sense now.
Oh,
they did not say that when they taught me the game, because I was like, what
really?
do I have to do? What is this? But if you just said duck and cover, I didn't.
Yeah.
So it had been explained before I got to the table. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. No worries. So the other thing you could do is cover, and that is the more ideal thing to do because you are trying, and cover means you take that 4, if that was the card, and you put your 4 on top of one of the cards that are orthogonally adjacent to it. And so you're trying to get down to a point where you have as few stacks as possible, because when the end of the round is triggered, you're going to look at any stacks that you have, where it could be a single card, multiple cards that have been covered. They all the cards have a point value on them. And the higher the card number, the more points. Like the 12 has like 5 points. And this is a game where you do not want points. So you're trying to like cover those high cards, but it just depends on the order that the numbers come out. And one of the ways the round ends is if one person gets down to one stack.
One stack.
They get to 1 stack, and any points that they have are negative points. And then all the other players, whatever points are still showing, are positive points, again, which you don't want. And the other way the round can end, which is another funny part about this game, is that when a number gets flipped, so let's say we're like 10 cards deep into the deck, and another 4 gets called, and your 4 is covered, so you have to quack. So when
I forgot about the quack.
Yeah. So when every time there's a number called that you have already covered, you quack, and then once everybody quacks at one card, it goes to like a special discard area. And when a certain number of those cards are there, that's the other way the round can end. So it's just like this light, silly game with adorable art. And it was so funny because we played this at Gen Con. And then the next day, my friend Roberto and who else was it? My friend Steven, I think. We were like playing, and Roberto had played at some Dice Tower event or something like that. And so we came and we're like, all right, this is a serious game. And like, we're making it all like competitive. Yeah. And then my mom loved it. Like she was just like, let's play the duck game. Like, so really I played it at 2 players. Yeah. So it's just this light game that like I kind of unexpectedly got pitched at Gen Con that has just been a real crowd pleaser. And so I think that this one is dropping at Essen, I'm pretty sure, and that is called Duck and Cover from Captain Games.
That makes sense. Duck and Cover. Yeah. Here's the thing. They did not tell me the name of the game. They're like, Aldie, play. I'm like, okay. Because it was sort of like, I was walking by the table and I saw like, what are you guys playing? They're like, you should play. I'm like, okay. And they explain it, which they did not say the name.
Yeah.
Duck and Cover, but I would have understood it more if they're like, what can I do with this?
And then so if the theme of the game, besides just having rubber ducky art, is that you're basically trying to have less water splashed out of your bathtub. So the more you're able to consolidate your stacks, that means that you have less water splashes because the points are water splashes. Super silly, super fun, quick, easy.
Yeah.
The ducky. And it's funny because I've had multiple games where people like sort of fight over which duckies. Like they're like, no, I want to be the space duckies.
And it's just cards, right?
It's just
There's
cards.
No physical things.
It's a box of cards. Yeah.
You got to have the deluxe version where you get rubber ducks.
That seems like it's a big thing in like some parts of Europe that we've been to. Like they have stores that have a bunch of rubber duckies that are different styles.
There was a whole genre of rubber duck games on BGG that one publisher was making, and they brought all their ducks to BGG Con. It was just tons of rubber ducks given out. Yeah, it was fun. Lots of the crazy
Hilarious. Ones. And now a word from our sponsor. You emerge into a clearing in the jungle and discover the crumbling ruins of a once magnificent Lego brick palace. Perched atop the ruins is a lone monkey, his eyes full of urgency. He gestures for you to come closer, silently pleading for you to help restore the palace to its former glory. The adventure to rebuild the Monkey Palace starts now. Will you answer the call? Welcome to Monkey Palace, the brand new Lego light strategy board game. With the amazing Lego system in play, you'll have a lot of building options, You won't encounter two games that are alike. Gather your crew of 2 to 4 members aged 10 and up and help the monkey rebuild the once great palace while competing against your crew to collect the most banana points. Each Lego building brick brings you one step closer to rebuilding the palace. Before you know it, together you will have built a new and amazing palace using the Lego elements, but there will only be one winner, the player with the most banana points. Well, let's jump into our Spiel 24 anticipation list. I'm sure you probably have some honorable mentions. I do too. Do you want to do honorable mentions first?
Sure. Because I think I have more on the list. You know what? Go ahead and do yours, and I'm going to rank my top 5. Because remember, I would like, because then we can go back and say, did we play these top 5? So I'll
sure.
I didn't have a ranking because I forgot we did that. So I will rank them.
Okay.
But you go ahead and do
All right. So I'll talk about my honorable mentions real quick, very briefly. Before I tell you about my honorable mentions, I was like, why is this year weird to me? And I realized this is the first year in a couple years that we haven't had a new Great Western Trail. Because like last year, New Zealand came out. The year before, Argentina came out. So it was like this year was kind of weird not having a new Great Western Trail. But we have plenty of Great Western Trail to play. But anyway, my honorable mentions are, so first, 2 expansions, Pirates of Maracaibo Commanders. I really enjoyed Pirates of Maracaibo, and I actually picked up the playmat at Gen Con. So I think Sonova was saying it on the last episode, it's nice when you get expansions because it gives you an opportunity to revisit games you like. Have you played Pirates?
I did play Pirates of Maracaibo. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
I wanted to play the... No. Pirates of Maracaibo I have not played. I played Maracaibo.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to play Pirates because I felt like Pirates might be more fun.
Yeah.
Like a funner theme.
It's lighter, but still, yeah.
Yeah, I'm even fine with the lighterness. Yeah. I need to play it for sure.
I really liked it. So the expansion adds commanders with special abilities. So that sounds cool. And then Evenfall, the Crystal Path, because
Evenfall.
Yeah, there are 2 new clans, and then like more cards, and then they also have this crystal mechanism or something that is a new form of magic. So I'm
crystal magic.
It's got some modular stuff, but again, I liked Evenfall, so I'm excited to play the expansion. Deep Sea Adventure Boost. This is an Oink game, a new version of Deep Sea Adventure.
Deep Sea Adventure. I had not heard about this one.
Yeah, believe it or not, I just played Deep Sea Adventure for the first time at the airport when I was leaving Gen Con.
It's a good game, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody survive?
I don't remember, actually.
Okay.
I don't
Usually
remember.
we end up all drowning.
It's super cool. And I knew I had always heard good things. I just never got around to trying it.
Yeah, it's really
So
good.
I definitely want to pick up the new version. And I don't know exactly what's different. I think they add some new, like something new to it. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what's new, but I want to play it. I'm going to get that one. Roads and Boats Scenarios. Someone has, I guess, made a book of a bunch of different scenarios for Roads and Boats. And this is another game I want to play more. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to try to get that. And then, 2 more honorable mentions. AI 100% Human. It's a new drafting game from Explore 8, who published Federation and Fruto Play. I liked both of them a lot.
Okay.
And I guess the thing about this game is like you're building a tableau of AI codes. You're trying to create the best AI system, or, you're kind of programming, but you have a reserve. So it's 2 rounds. You have a reserve of cards at the start of each round, and then you do a regular draft, pick 1 card, but you add it to your reserve. And then from your reserve, you can decide which of those cards you want to put into your tableau. And it's like a simultaneous reveal, and then you score immediately. And there's some like special objectives, but the hooky thing or the appealing thing is this fact that you have a reserve. It's not just like I draft a card and I play that same card I just drafted. So you can kind of set up combos, or maybe, you have some options, because I think you'll have 4 cards in your reserve by the time you need to play a card. So it looks cool.
What was that? 100% human?
It's called AI 100% Human.
Okay.
And then the last one I have as an honorable mention is Kraftwagen, Age of Engineering, Matthias Kramer. I used to have the original version of this. I never got it to the table, ended up selling it. So I'm like,
you never played Kraftwagen?
No, I haven't. Yeah, and now there's this new version.
Kramer is amazing. That's a good game.
Yeah. This new version seems really cool, and I've always wanted to play the game, so I'm like, all right, this is my chance. This is my chance. So what are your honorable mentions?
Okay, so first one, Perspectives Blue.
Oh, nice.
So it's a new version of Perspectives, blue box. It's a new standalone set of adventures, 3 new investigations. So I think I'll get that and play it at BGG Con again. Might as well make it although Matthew's not coming to BGG Con this year, I'm a little sad. He was my Perspectives buddy. But that's Space Cowboys and Matt Dunstan, Dave Neal. I played it last year. It's such a great game. It's fun.
Cool.
Not really what you would call a strategy game, but it's just an experience. Like you try to figure out the mystery from all the cards, and you don't have all the vision of the cards, so you have to communicate about the cards, which is kind of clever. I don't know. It's a different kind of way of playing games for sure. There is a re-implementation of Rum and Pirates, the Stefan Feld game from back in the day. I don't know if you've ever played that. Rum and Pirates 2006.
I've seen it on BGG
It was
before.
kind of, I guess the community was disappointed in it because Stefan Feld. It's quite light. I'm hoping. Now I liked it. I really did. I'm like, this is a great fun.
Okay.
But it was on the lighter side for Stefan Feld, so I'm looking forward to
somebody's making a new version.
It's called Nassau re-implementation. Nassau by Queen Games.
Gotcha.
It's I don't know how much of the original. I suspect it's been modified a little bit. That's a long time ago.
Like the other ones, like the new Bora Bora, and they have new versions of a lot of his games. Yeah.
Kathmandu is also another. It's not I don't think this is a re-implementation of anything with Stefan Feld, but it basically is a lead in an expedition and explored the diverse landscape of Nepal. So it's maybe an adventure game.
Okay.
But I'm sure it's Stefan Feld. It doesn't have any pictures. Sort of disappointing. It has 2 box pictures. I'm like, I can't learn a game from a box picture. I mean, I have to read but it says it's use dice to gain resources and move around the board. Okay. I'm good. Yeah, sure. Stefan Feld, dice rolling, race collection, and variable setup. So that's what I can go off on.
That's what you're going off of.
That's what I got. Also Stefan Feld. Actually, is this on my list? This is on my list. So I'm going to skip this one. I'm a little out of order.
Okay.
The Gang, which I think came out at Gen Con for us, but I did not get a copy, and we only got 1 copy for BGG Library, so I want my own copy.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. I played it. I love it. I want my own copy. The Gang is like a poker,
cooperative
Texas cooperative, which, if that sounds weird to you, it is weird, but it is also very, very good.
Yep.
It has lots of poker fun. Minecart Town. Have you heard of Minecart Town?
No.
Yeah, that's a new one by Jelly Games, which I found this YouTuber, Cardboard East is his channel name. Jay. Yeah, I don't know Jay.
Oh, Jay works for Bezier. He's actually, I'm having him on the podcast after Essen with me.
Very good. He's awesome. He does games from Asia, and he covers Minecart Town. And I'm like, man, I want this game now. He's very good. Jay is very good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
At presenting games. He's awesome. So check him out. It's Cardboard East is the name of the YouTube channel. There is a reprint of Tonga Bonga. Do you know Tonga Bonga?
Describe how it works real
quick. From
quick.
1998. It's a ship. You're going around to the islands, and you dice rolling game, and you have a guy that gets sick. It's got a little picture of a guy throwing up.
I played this with Eric at Gen Con last year. I think in the one of Asmodee. Is it one of the Asmodee companies? It
was Ravensburger. Was the original publisher.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Ravensburger is printing it again.
Okay.
So
well, I
don't know if it's Playtee. It might be Playtee that's printing it.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
But Tonga Bonga, it's one of those games that was unobtainium. Like I got offered like $100 for my copy, and I'm like, okay, I'll sell it.
Yeah,
it's about $100. This was like in the early 2000s, and I regretted selling that game because it was a lot of fun. Anyway, Tonga Bonga.
Well, now it's coming back.
Stefan Dora. Yep, it's coming back. Everything comes back.
Yeah,
everything comes back. Okay, this one. War Story, Occupied France by Dave Neal and David Thompson. And that looks awesome.
I've played it.
You played it? Okay, tell me about it.
I've played it. It's great. I think we just played the first mission, and it's like one of these games that's very like choose your own adventure where there aren't that many rules. Like there are a couple things you learn, And we were like, I don't know what we're doing. And then like, as you go through, like you're reading stuff, it's like whatever the decisions you make, you read a little blurb, you do something, the story escalates.
Okay.
By the end of our first mission, we were all like, ooh, like I can't wait to see what's next. So it's, I mean, for me, David Thompson, anything he touches. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool though. For like something lighter.
And the resistance in a race against time in World War II France. And the artwork is Kwanchai Moria.
Nice.
She's a phenomenal artist. So yeah, that one's definitely going to be played. Happy Home. It's a polyomino decorate your house game by Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert.
Okay. They make good games. So
polyominoes. I'm good. Sold. Decorating a home. That's cool. I like it.
Cool.
Let's see. Dead Cells, which is basically like the video game. It's a roguelike. Did you ever hear about this video game? You're running around a dungeon.
I've heard of when you said it, I was like, I thought it was a video game, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's based on a video game called Dead Cells.
Okay.
It's called the Rogue-Lite board game. Rogue-Lite means you die and then come back stronger. Like you get an upgrade. Or you can turn in resources to upgrade. So I'm hoping it's like that.
I know that only because I got into Mini Rogue a couple months ago. Yeah.
There you go. Ada's Dream.
Ah.
Collect dice from the workshop rondel to manipulate on your personal engine board. By the way, Ada Lovelace is based on Ada Lovelace, who was one of the first computer programmers in the world. She helped build the first computer engine.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.
So there's actually a programming language called Ada based on her.
That's really cool.
It's based add dice, gears, and programs to your blueprint board to build the analytical engine. And it looks pretty cool. I like the look of it. Who's that by? Let me see. Alley Cat and Tony Lopez is the designer. And I think that is all of my... Oh, no, I've got one more. Endeavor Deep Sea, which I thought was out already, but it is not. I backed it on Kickstarter.
I
still haven't gotten my copy yet. I don't think it's really been released yet, unless I'm just slow on the slow ship of shipping. But Endeavor Deep Sea is I don't even really remember it being much like Endeavor because I don't really remember Endeavor. Like I can't remember. Like it's probably got some like similarities of Endeavor. I just don't remember. But it's a deep sea exploration game and really
are you like cool unlocking things on your player board or something?
Yeah, you unlock powers and you get your capabilities. Like you can go deeper. You can last. Do.
I feel like I've demoed it a couple of times and I did play the original one once.
Tech Tree's chaining game is always good for me. And all Undersea.
What's your number 5 now that we've gotten our honorable mentions squeezed in?
Out of the way. Number 5 is called Thorgal, the board game. Thorgal. Let me bring up my page for it.
Aldie, my number 5 is Thorgal, the board game too.
Well, you should talk about it then because I've been talking a lot. You talk about it.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
How is
that
hilarious.
Even possible? What?
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 games on this list.
It's the adventure games. Yeah. So
Portal.
this one, it's Portal Games. The designers are Joanna Kijanka, John Maurici Swetskiki. I'm probably really butchering these names. And Raphael
names are so hard
Zima. I think Raphael Zima. Yeah. Anyways, this is a game from Portal Games. It plays 1 to 4 players, and it's a cooperative storybook adventure that's based on the Belgian comic book series called Thorgal, which I had never heard of.
I had not either.
But back at Essen 2022, I think I was with Lincoln and Nikki, and we got a demo of this. And I remember, it was just so cool because for the exploration, it's like a polyomino exploration. And then you have polyomino stuff that's managing your health. And the action card system was cool. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I just remember being really excited by this. And also the fact that it's standalone scenarios. So it has 7 standalone scenarios and they each take about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half to play. So again, we don't have that situation where we need to play with the same group every time. Each one is played on a different map. I think the map might be like a book.
Yeah, it's a book with a spiral and you lay it out. That's the best. You're
playing one of the characters from this comic book series and having some kind of adventure. And I just remember, again, there was something really neat and innovative with how they were using polyominoes. which I thought was really cool.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, then what's your number 4?
And Norse mythology, I guess, is the background of the comic book.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
Maybe some Norse god stuff in there. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Number 4 is Intent to Kill. Hopefully that's not your number 4.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. So this also came out at Gen Con.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But I don't know if it fully came out. Because I saw Steph and Michael playing on their stream. But oh my gosh, it looks great. It's 2-player, but also says 2 to 4, maybe teams. I don't know. Okay. But there's a murderer doing murders and a detective trying to catch the murderer. And it just looks like this really cool, and a serial killer basically. You're trying to track down, and there's like a deduction aspect to it. You move around a board. Something about it just makes me look like I'm like, oh yeah, because I love hidden movement. I don't know if it's hidden, but I think there's a murder every day, and I think you have to find the murderer before the end of the turns. I suspect that's how it works.
That sounds pretty cool.
And then you can ask questions. I don't know how the mechanics of that works. I'm sort of a little bit. I didn't watch Steph's. I came in at the end of their stream. I've not gone back to watch it, but she was like raving about it. I'm like, okay, I need to check that out. So I'm like, I better put it on my list.
I better put it on my list too.
I want to play it by the end of next year before I'll be embarrassed to say I didn't play it.
So it's called Intent to Kill?
Right. And then I think you start with basic rules. Yeah. Intent to Kill by Hobby World. And the designer is Arthur Hodgzikoff. It starts with basic rules, but I think you can add more rules. So like, that's kind of fun too, like just to get the basics going. Then you can start adding more complexity as you go.
Have you ever played Mantis
Falls? Yes, I have played that, but I have not played it well. I played on BGA, and I don't know if I understood it correctly. I don't think I played it correctly.
When you were kind of talking about this one, it was reminding me of that one. But yes. I bought this off of someone at a flea market too, and it's a social deduction game with 2 or 3 players. I think you can play with 3.
A couple players.
But yeah, the idea is like, I think it's mostly played with 2, because then you don't know if you're both good or if one of you is bad, and you're trying to like you're walking somebody's walking home and there might be a murder.
It's kind of mind bending, actually. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is super interesting. I need to play it more. And I was playing on BGA, which is kind of hard because it doesn't really teach you the game. But I want to play it again. Yeah,
me too.
Mantis
I haven't played it yet,
Falls.
but I want to play it. So I'll keep.
And it's like a comic book story, too, right? Like you're walking through a comic book, if I recall. Part of it.
Something
the map is sort of a comic
the map
book.
is like, I don't remember if it was cards, but yeah, the idea is you're like walking home or something, and it's dark, it's late at night, but it's just from like watching videos on it, the way that you don't know if you can trust the other player is like really fascinating.
And you're just trying to get to the end of the
yeah
or not.
Or not, depending on your intentions.
I want to try that again. But Intent to Kill might be similar to that. I'm not exactly sure if it's got, I don't know if it's got social deduction in it, but it says deduction. That's a little different than social, because you definitely know someone's the killer.
Yep. Yeah.
But it also says induction, which I'm very interested in with deduction and induction.
Okay. All right.
So given, it's intriguing.
Yeah. I will have to check this one out.
That's Intent to Kill.
Okay, my number 4 is Battle Dentale.
And
I don't know if you see. I guess you haven't seen this one on the preview.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
This game is a 2-player game designed by Emily Willix, and it's her first signed game with Bright Eye Games. I looked up her designer page, and one of the things that hooked me in, well, I'll just say the theme and the fact that it's like a 2-player abstract strategy kind of game hooked me. But then the fact that she said she loves creating fun, thinky games in small packages. And I love playing fun, thinky games in small packages. But this game is a 2-player game where one player is going to play as Gumrot the Goblin. The other player is playing Toothache the Troll. And you're basically competing against each other to collect the best collection of teeth from a jawbone. So there's like, it looks like the rule book is posted. Like this was another one. I was like, I want to see some pictures, but I looked at the rule book to get to see some pictures, and it looks like there's a small board with the inside of someone's mouth, and
I see it.
It's like a circular track, and you put all these different teeth on the track. And Toothache the Troll wants cleaner teeth because they're shiny. Yeah.
Game design development by Matthew Dunstan.
Oh Oh.
So he helped them.
Oh, that's cool.
Or developed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. And then Gumrot wants the decaying teeth. So you're moving your pawn around this mouth rondelle to like shift teeth and pick up teeth, and there's like these wisdom tokens, like wisdom teeth tokens, and I don't know.
It's interesting. Like you would make a game about dental hygiene, and then you would, if you put trolls and goblins in there, like, I'm sold.
Yeah. So it just seems like funny. I'm very like, I don't know. I've been, ever since I saw this pop up, I was like, that sounds cool. I'm into it. So cool. Yeah, that's Battle Dentale.
Number 3 is, and we talked about this, I spoiled this earlier, The Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth.
Nice. Okay,
which is a Seven Wonders Duel reimplementation, which, by the way, one of the best games ever made.
Yes.
Great game.
Yes.
2-player.
And it just got greater.
It just got greater. I don't know if it looks like the same pyramid-y type, the cards come out in a pyramid way, and it's probably the same mechanics.
It's a little different. It has like the same, more or less the same drafting.
That's what I meant. Yeah. The drafting mechanism is the same.
But then there's a map board and stuff that you're doing on a board. I demoed this at Gen Con, and one of the things that's really cool about it is that there's this track to show that Frodo trying to move forward to drop the ring, and then the Nazgul, chasing them, and they have this like really cool slider thing to show that either side's progress.
Got it.
Yeah,
I see it.
I don't know how this game is not on my list. Like, I don't know why it didn't come up. It's definitely on my list.
Maybe because you played it at Gen Con, potentially.
I don't know, but I still probably would have marked it as like interested or whatever. So I just missed it.
Yep, Antoine Baza and Bruno Catala, and that's Repos production. And the art is by Vincent Dutray. How can you not want this game? I mean, there might be some
about Lord of the
Rings fatigue, I suspect, but I'm not.
Nah,
by it.
Me neither. Cool. Well, that's secretly on my list too. That's my 4.5.
It's a secret. Yeah.
My number 3 is SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This is the big, medium heavy release from CGE. It's designed by Tomas Hollick, plays with 1 to 4 players. And in this game, you're basically leading a scientific institution, and you're trying to search for traces of life beyond planet Earth. The designer was like inspired by actual like technology and real space exploration. And basically during the game, you're going to explore different planets and their moons by launching probes from Earth. You have this like circular shifting board. This looks crazy. There are over 200 cards that are all unique. Yeah.
Yep.
It is just wild, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is the second time that CGE, I think it was when Deal with the Devil came out, and I demoed it I got an overview of it. I didn't like demo it at Gen Con, and I was just like, wow, this looks really intriguing. I don't really know how it's going to work. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm intrigued. And they did it again with this one, because like I got the overview and I was just like, have no clue how this game is going to like actually play out, but that gets me excited. And it just like CGE has like really nice production. All the components are cool. So
it looks really good.
Yeah. And I like this space exploration too. 200 cards. Wow.
Yeah. It's not sci-fi, or I guess it's near sci-fi, not total like fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah, it's
right,
more
it's like realistic.
It's exactly.
Got it.
It's more based on actual planetary exploration, astronomy, and the designer is like really passionate about it. So,
gotcha.
I'm supposed to meet him when I meet up with the CGE folks at Essen. So, yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm excited to play SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Rebirth. By Rainer Knizia. It is a tile.
That's all you need to say.
I know, that's what I was looking at. What else I have to say? By Mighty Boards, which is interesting because we talked about Mighty Boards Fateforge.
Yeah.
So it says, here's the interesting thing. It says, I'll just read the description.
Mm-hmm.
Rebirth is a new tile laying game from Rainer Knizia. Sure, great. This game revitalized the classic genre. Classic genre? I guess, I don't know.
Tile
laying's not that Classic. But it by combining Knizia's elegant mechanics with Mighty Board's evocative world building, the result is a Euro game with smooth gameplay set in a lush and hopeful future. So basically draw a tile, play a tile. But it looks amazing. Was it available? I think it might have been available at Gen Con, but I don't remember.
No, I think they were just demoing it. Like I think they had like a pre-production copy because I did see it and I was like, this looks cool. And in all fairness, I don't know why it's not on my list, but this is another one that
on this list. Here's the thing: I'm not surprised SETI's not on my list. It should be. Yeah. Right. SETI could be on my list. Should be.
SETI might be heavier than you will want.
It might. That might be the reason. Yeah. But wait till you see my number one.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, what?
All right, cool.
Wait, Rebirth by Rainer.
That was Rebirth, yeah. Yep. Okay, so my number two, and this is a game that I actually have played, but it's still my number two.
Okay.
It is Aldie, Dawn of Civilization. Aldie is published by Ares Games, and it's designed by Paulo Mori and Ole Steinus. And this is a 2 to 4 player deck building, civilization building game with a board. So, like, I don't know if you know, but like Imperium Classics, Imperium Legends, that's like deck building, civilization building in a very unique way. But this is different, and it's a lot lighter, and it's so smooth. So I played this right before Gen Con was closing. And I'm so glad I did. Like, I was just wandering around. And I was
they were turning the lights off on you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love Paulo Mori's games. So I've never heard of the other designer, Ole Steinus, but this game is super cool. Like, I had a blast playing it there. And they actually sent me a copy of it. They just got them in and sent me a copy in advance that literally came from Italy, I think. I feel like they've told me that it shipped Friday and it got here yesterday.
What?
Exactly. I don't know, but it all worked out so that I could play it a full game because I think we had to cut.
Yeah, you had to cut short.
Yeah, we had to cut it short. So I played it last night, and it's just it's so smooth and it's light. And so basically the idea is you are building up a civilization, but this is a very medium weight kind of experience. Like, the rules are so clean. I just love it, how smooth it is. And each player is going to play as one of these factions, and each faction's decks are slightly asymmetrical. And one of the cool things is, even though maybe I was the fire folk yesterday, the red faction, and then the yellow faction or the earth folk, I think, even though we both have a couple warrior cards in our decks, the art is completely different. Like, my warriors don't look the same as you. And the art style in this game is really, really cool. It's kind of got a slightly watercolored origami-ish look to it.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice on the video.
And so you have this small board that sits in the center of the table, and it has 4 different types of terrain and some water areas. So there's mountains, hills, forests, and farmlands. And each of those regions can produce a certain type of resource. Like, farmlands give you food, mountains give you stone, hills give you iron or metal or whatever, and forests give you trees. Yeah, the standard stuff. So you'll shuffle your deck, you'll get a hand of 5 cards, and then on your turn, you play those 5 cards to do stuff like get other cards. But all the cards you're getting is civ building stuff. Like, you're getting more people to help you. You're getting you're developing towns and cities. And one of the things you can improve your military, because there's a little bit of combat that can happen in the game, but it doesn't need to happen. It just kind of depends on how people play.
Right.
But you're basically building these settlements out. Everybody has one set of components for their faction besides the cards, and they're these really nice chunky wooden bits, and you're trying to expand, because at the end of the game you're going to score victory points for each territory that you control, and it's very simple, 1 point per area that you control. But then you also have achievements that you can get. You have 2 levels of technologies that are you'll get it by starting to accumulate the resources you needed for it. Then once it's built, you'll get to put a settlement on the board, and now you have a special ability. So all these different achievements have different abilities that are cool. Like I had one yesterday that every turn after I developed it, like every turn I could trash a card to draw a card. So that was really nice. There's like commerce where you can trade a resource in. The other thing is you have wonders. So the level 3 achievements are wonders, and you're building those to get points. Like I had one of my wonders, I can't think of the name right now, but it was you get a point for each area that you control that has at least 2 of your settlements in it.
So it's got area control and
that like tech building, like tech tree. Yeah, right. Exactly.
So is it more deck building or more map control? Like what do you think?
I want to say it's like 50-50. Because it's like you gotta do stuff on the board. Some people might be incentivized to do a little more combat. Like the board gets randomly seeded with these conquest tokens at the beginning, which are you can think of them like
so neutral. Are you fighting neutral things or are you fighting each other?
Yes, both.
Both? Okay.
Both. All
right.
So in order to build in a space that has a conquest token or like a neutral enemy, you have to have higher strength. Strength is so easy. Each of your settlements in the region you're attacking from are worth 1 strength. And then you play cards that have swords on them. It's like so simple. If I have a card that has 3 swords and I have 1 settlement, my strength is 4. And then when you go to attack a player, the other player might have shields in their hand and they can block your attack. You don't have to fight. You can surrender. And you get an opportunity to cycle your deck a little bit because you can discard cards. But it's just like really smooth because a lot of the cards in your deck have 2 potential options. One might be like, get a piece of wood. But if you have a settlement in the forest, you can get 2 pieces of wood. Yeah. So you're like generating resources. You're spending them to build these techs and get better cards. And it's like, it's just such a smooth design. Like if you're looking at your hand, your turn should be quick. Like you should really usually know unless somebody...
Yeah, it says 45 and 90 minutes for a 4-player game.
Yeah, it's really...
That's reality?
Totally. I would say 90 minutes for new.
It says 2.0 on the weight level. Who knows if anybody's rating this correctly, right? But it's only 13 ratings, so it's still early.
And the scores in the game are very low. Like I lost by 1 point. And the scores were like 18, 22, 26, and 27. So like, again, I love games that have tight scoring where it's like every point kind of matters, you know? And the person who beat me by 1 point, I felt like he was like crushing us during the game. But the fact that and he was so surprised that my achievements, like I had so many points from achievements. So I think there's a lot of ways you can go about it. But I think what I'm most excited about too is the possibility for expansions. Like you can do a lot like Dominion style with this.
Open. Okay.
Yeah, right. So I think I'm hoping that's what they're planning to do. The game comes with a mini expansion that has some more cards and it uses these island spaces that are usually off limits for the core game. But I think there's just a lot of like different ways you can play it. And there's like, you got the player interaction from the board, the engine building with your deck building. So I'm still really, really enjoying Alte, and I want to play Alte all day.
Alte all day.
So that is Alte, Dawn of Civilization, the only game on my list that I've actually played. But I'm still excited about it. It would be on my list either way.
Sometimes you play them and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm
exactly. Why do I think our number 1 is going to be the same?
You think so?
It might be.
Okay, so there's a lot of Stefan Feld games this year. You're shaking your head like, yes, it's the same.
Yep.
Well, I don't know much about it, but here's the thing. I'm scared. So I put this as number 1 because now that I'm forced to play it. I was going to put it on when we were, obviously I've sort of messed up the list, not messed it up, but like I didn't have a top 5, but I made this number 1 because if I put it on my list, then I have to play it because then I can say next year.
Yeah.
It's called Civolution.
Yeah.
By Stefan Feld, Deep Print Games, published by Deep Print Games, but also Pegasus Spiel. Hello, student beings. The cosmic faculty of the Technical Academy of Creation is delighted to welcome you to your Civolution, the final exam in the civilization design. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess it's an exam.
Yeah.
Do you know much more about that than that?
I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'll just say a content creator that I know that is a big fan of Steffenfeld games, and I think he often does videos on like rules videos and stuff.
Name drop?
Paul Grogan.
Yeah.
Paul Grogan told me months ago, I think he was like playing an early copy of it, and he was like really, really digging it.
Okay.
And I think it was right around the time. So you're surprised that this is that it's my number one.
No, it's surprised it's my.
Oh, okay.
You're surprised.
Well, I'm kind of surprised too, because like I literally was like finagling my list, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like, maybe because I know the least about this that I'm really excited about it, but also because Ian O'Toole, when I recorded with him, he kind of put me on a little bit of a Feld kick, and this game is a medium heavy to heavy Euro.
It's 4.0. Well, it's only there's
it's
not
still
that many
early.
Words, but it's pretty high.
But it has
and
like
also the playing time scares me.
What does it say?
Well, I was just reading the forums last night. The first post was like, impressions. We played 2 of the 4 eras in 4 hours time. I'm like,
what?
Oh. So that's half the game in 4 hours.
That sounds crazy.
Maybe
they were learning it from
But you're playing
scratch.
at a convention. Like if you're playing at a convention, that could definitely add. It basically was impressions from Spiel 23. It does say snappy turns though. If it's 2 hours, if it's more than 3 hours or whatever, 4 hours, maybe even 5. If the turns are snappy, I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
So it uses a dice selection mechanism to trigger actions on. You have this like big. This is a cool looking game too.
It's cool looking.
You have like a tech tree, and like the theme that we're all competing for an exam where we need to kind of like lead a civilization, and it says like we have to adapt to different environmental conditions, and it also has cards, unique cards. And I love cards in games, so I'm like...
One of the descriptions says also, each time you play it, you will only explore a fraction of the possibilities that the game systems and many cards provide. That's interesting, too. So it almost seems like a kit of a civilization game. Civilization game kit.
I think now that, I'm more Steffenfeld curious, for whatever reason, this game is like, I'm really like excited to play this game.
For sure.
But it kind of surprises me. I think 2 years ago, probably SETI would have been top on my list. Yeah. And it's also
all both pretty up there.
It's also hilarious that we had the same number 1 and the same number 5.
What is this? Well, here's the thing. I'm putting mine Steffenfeld as number 1 just to make me commit to playing it.
Okay, fair.
I'm gonna play it this next year.
Yeah.
But I'm also very excited now talking about it because I'm just like, wow, it looks really great.
It looks really cool.
And if Paul gave it a pretty positive feedback. Yeah,
yep.
I'm okay. I'm usually on the same wavelength as Paul.
Awesome. Apparently you're on the same wavelength as me now too.
I know, we're all on the same wavelength.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited about these new games, and of course, like I still have a lot of new to me games that I'm like really like pumped to play.
A lifetime of games has come out every year. It's like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
We're quite in a fortunate time.
Totally.
And releases.
But anyways, that was great chatting with you. Like, wow, we talked about a lot of games.
Yes. Talked about a lot.
Yep.
Thank you again, Candice, for running the Board Game Geek podcast for another year.
Yeah.
It's been too quickly going by.
I know.
Looking forward to the next year, of course.
Same here. And thanks again to everybody out there listening. Please stop by the BGG booth and say hi to whoever's there at the time. If you see me or Eric or Lincoln, Nikki, Beth, anybody else walking around, please say hi. We like saying hi to people. So, as always, cool. Well, thanks again. I'll
see you next year.
Yeah.
Talk to you next. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll talk sooner than that. You've been listening to the Board Game Geek Podcast, produced and edited by Candice Harris. Special thanks to Matt Fonda for editing and mixing our music. Be sure to visit us on the web at BoardGameGeek.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch under Board Game Geek. You can reach us by email at podcast@BoardGameGeek.com. Thanks for listening, and happy gaming!